So we were asked to bring tips and tricks and ways to help you advise. I see a lot of veterans in the room, so please feel free, I guess, to add or tell us we're off base, I guess. But I see a lot of new faces, so that's fantastic. In theory, you don't advise in your first year. Right, Chris?
In theory.
Right, Chris? Yeah, in theory, but in reality, we're always desperate for more people to help out with the advising load. I know I advised in my first year as well. So one of the things that I do when a student comes into my office for advising is I always ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they love that question, love the way I phrase that question. It usually brings a smile on their face and harkens them back to their kindergarten days. But it lets me know their dreams, lets me know their aspirations. Sometimes that dream, sometimes the answer to that question changes. But it also lets me know how to prepare them. What I tell students, what I tell their parents, I had this conversation yesterday on the phone, is I can give you a biology degree 500 different ways, based on electives and those kinds of things, but I want to make you the right kind of biology degree to prepare you for what you want to be when you grow up. So if you want to be a doctor, I'm going to choose different electives. If you want to be a veterinarian, then to be a dentist, then to be an ecologist, then to be a water chemist or something like that. But even more specific than that, I want to know how they're going to be what they want to be when they grow up. So if they want to work in a museum, for example, there's no post-baccalaureate education that's required of that. You can go in and be a docent, you can go in and be a curator, usually right with just a bachelor's degree. But if they want an advanced degree, if they need a master's or a PhD or a doctorate, I need to know what that program wants of them. And so I need them to go and pick out your med school, pick out your dental school, and let's look at what they require, what they recommend, what they strongly suggest. And of course, we all know all three of those actually mean require. And then I use that information to help pick their electives and pick what extracurricular activities, what experiential learning things they do. I had a student a couple of years ago who was looking at a program, a dental program at, it was either Arizona State or University of Arizona, I don't remember which one, and they had an emphasis in missions. They very much encourage their students to do dental missions. And so as part of that, I'm like, you need to go and take Dr. Oldakowski. This was, I'm trying to blank on his name. I was friends with Patrick. And so I encouraged him. He went on one of your trips down to Guatemala over spring break and got some mission experience and decided that he liked it and wanted to do more of it and applied to the program. He ended up going somewhere else, but I wouldn't have necessarily recommended that to just the regular pre-dental student. That's going to drive you nuts. You'll know him. Nice big smile. Great for dentistry, that's for sure. So find out where the student wants to go and pick the best path, because there's lots of ways to be a music major. There's lots of ways to be a major or a physics major. There's lots of based on electives and what you do outside the classroom. So prepare them for that. Always ask. If you don't know the answer to the question, ask. Sometimes you ask the student, ask them a question. Sometimes you have to call your colleagues or your friends and answer the question. And then I never advise a student in their last year. If they're not my advisee, I'll never advise them in their last year. I don't know what conversations they've had over, excuse me, the previous 3 years. Are there transfer credits they're trying to get over? Are they trying to take a class in another institution? I haven't had the what do you want to be when you grow up conversation in terms of getting those kinds of things. And with their senior year, there's no time to correct a mistake. There's no time to correct a change. Then you're into waivers and exceptions and mean, and nobody wants to do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, my door is open. Yeah, I might be around more than your advisor is, but I never, this is a general rule, I just don't advise students in their last year because I don't have that history with them. I don't have those nuances, and they might not think to say, oh, remember back in my sophomore year? They might not think to tell me that, and that could be actually, could be important. So those are some of the things that I've learned over the years.